Ex-All Black Lima Sopoaga slams nation's championship as a slap in the face. Former All Black and current Samoan international Lima Sopoaga took to social media to tear down the nation's championship, which was greenlit by World Rugby earlier this week. The plans for the controversial tournament, which begins in 2026, emerged earlier this year in a joint statement between Six Nations and SANZAAR. The two-tier tournament will take place outside of British and Irish Lions tour years, with fixtures taking place in the July and November test windows. Japan and Fiji will join SANZAAR's Four Nations and the Six Nations teams in the top tier, whilst the Pacific Nations Cup is being expanded by welcoming Canada and the USA into the fray in Tier 2 from 2024. Ring-fenced until 2030. Critically, the competition is ring-fenced until 2030, meaning no promotion or relegation, which effectively stunts the growth of the Tier 2 teams, which will be starved of competing against the biggest teams across the globe outside of Rugby World Cups. A vote earlier this week from the World Rugby Board resulted in the confirmation that the new international structure will go ahead. Sopoaga breaks down the impact of the tournament on Samoan rugby in his detailed statement, where he claims it is a betrayal of the very essence of rugby. The Nations Championship was supposed to be a beacon of hope for smaller rugby-playing nations. It offered us the chance to compete with some of the giants of the sport, to test our mettle, and to show the world what we are made of, Sopoaga wrote on X, formerly Twitter. We were excited about the opportunity to go toe-to-toe with teams like the All Blacks, Springboks, and Wallabies. But now, that dream has been shattered. The decision to exclude us from this competition is a stark reminder of the power imbalances in world rugby. This decision privileges the interests of the Six Nations and the Rugby Championship, and it's disheartening to see those interests hold more sway than the dreams and aspirations of smaller nations. This decision may protect their competitions, but it comes at the cost of stifling the growth and potential of countries like Samoa and Tonga. The decision-makers need to remember that the heart of rugby lies in the diversity of its participants and the unity of its global rugby community.
Rugby is more than just a sport in Samoa, it's a way of life. Generations of Samoan players have poured their hearts and souls into representing our nation on the rugby field. We've faced adversity and challenges, and we've strived to make a name for ourselves on the global stage. This decision feels like a slap in the face to all that hard work. This exclusion not only impacts our chances of improvement but also affects the young talents in our nations who aspire to be the next great rugby players. It sends a discouraging message that their dreams are not as important as those of larger nations, the statement added. Betrayal. It's a betrayal of the very essence of rugby, which should be about respect, inclusion, and fair play. We are not asking for charity. We are asking for an equal chance to compete, to prove our worth on the field, and to develop the sport in our nations. While the decision to exclude us may be finalized, the frustration and anger it has ignited in the hearts of Samoan rugby players and fans will not easily subside. We will continue to fight for our place in the global rugby community, and we hope that one day, the world will recognize the value of giving smaller nations the opportunity to shine on the rugby field. Until then, we remain determined and steadfast, ready to prove ourselves whenever we get the chance. Rugby is in our blood, and no decision can extinguish that fire.